This is WSMV4 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tracy Cornett. Tonight at 10, new details into the killing of Maya Fuller as we approach the one-year mark of the Murfreesboro woman's disappearance and death. Plus, Metro Schools looks to solve major staffing shortages with more than 500 jobs open just weeks now away from the first day of school. But up first tonight at 10, a local cheerleading coach at a popular training center is behind bars tonight, accused of raping a 17-year-old girl at the facility. This is 27-year-old James So, a Clarksville native and a former coach at Premier Athletics in Franklin. He is facing 10 counts of aggravated rape, statutory rape, and sexual battery, all stemming from one incident with a 17-year-old girl months ago. Premier Athletics says they learned about the assault on March 2nd and immediately fired him, then reported it to the Franklin Police Department and USA Cheer. A grand jury indicted him yesterday, and he was arrested last night. In a statement, Premier Athletics says, in part, Mr. So has not been in any of our facilities since his removal. Premier Athletics Nashville will continue to work with the Franklin Police Department and stands by all survivors, end quote. So is being held on a $300,000 bond. He is due back in court in 2 weeks. Now, this all comes just days after a so-called soccer coach was arrested in Franklin, accused of raping unconscious boys and recording it on a cell phone. Tonight, we're learning new details about the suspect, Camilo Campos. Originally, Franklin police reported Campos was a popular soccer coach, but yesterday they told CNN that his affiliation with local teams is ambiguous and it's not clear if he ever worked with local teams. Instead, he may just have lied about being a coach as a ruse to lure and befriend young boys. Police say there could be a decade of victims here, mostly Hispanic boys. At least 5 people have come forward since Campos' original arrest. We are working to learn more about this case. We'll update you and post it on our free WSMV4 News app as those details come in.
The Welches had called me and said basically, you know, hey, they found a body on our property. And I was like, what? Like, you got to be kidding me.
Tonight, new details into the death of Murfreesboro woman Maya Fuller and how her body was found. We have confirmed Fuller died after being shot multiple times nearly a year ago. The 22-year-old went missing last July after working an event at Geodis Park. She was spotted at a nightclub after that event, but never came home. A week later, her body was found in the woods in a rural area of Lebanon. Despite pleas for justice from the family, the investigation went silent. But that changed yesterday when 3 people were charged with her murder. Now, we do not know which suspect pulled the trigger, but the autopsy shows Fuller was shot at least twice. It's still not clear what led up to that shooting. Police say the 3 suspects hardly knew her. Tonight, we're also learning more about how Fuller's body was found in the woods where one local family was looking to build a home. Their realtor tells us they had just bought the property when they found her body hidden at the top of a hill.
They smelt a strange odor and she thought, well, maybe an animal or something like that, you know, was there and some buzzards was flying around. And next thing you know, they walk off the side of the hill and find a pair of tennis shoes laying, you know, inside the ground, and they was like, oh my, you know, this is not good.
Oh, wow. Well, we're also learning more about the suspects tonight. Tiana Tipton, who is charged with premeditated first-degree murder for Fuller's death, was arrested earlier this year for a separate assault in Montgomery County. We are just a few weeks away from the first day of school, and Metro Public Schools staring down a major staffing shortage. They are looking to fill more than 500 positions, from teachers to librarians and social workers, bus drivers and custodians. And today they held a job fair to try and put a dent in those shortages. Our Danielle Jackson was there. Danielle, we know you talked to the district about all of these open positions.
Schools like this one are hoping to be fully staffed by the end of the school year. Some candidates walked out of a job fair knowing that they will help fill a need in the district.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hiring on the spot to hopefully fill about 900 open positions within Metro Public School District.
We would love for you to join our team.
That's just a few of the many interactions during the MMPS summer recruitment event.
Teacher-wise, we've got about 400 vacancies to fill district-wide, with our highest needs being exceptional education, math, science, and English learner. On the support side, we've got about 500 to fill. So, but that ranges everything from bus drivers to bus monitors, paraprofessionals.
Bridget Tubbs-Jones is the Director of Talent Acquisition for MNPS. In addition to the need for teachers, she says there's a new role called Classroom Support Associate, starting at $18.80 an hour plus benefits.
But the classroom associate is a better fit for students. That gives them that continuity and that same point of contact day in and day out.
It's a new role Yvonne Merrill Oliver says she's interested in at the pre-K and elementary age level.
I feel that I have something to give back to the kids, and I think they need the nurturing and the guidance to help get them motivated and educated and ready.
During the job fair, Elijah Williams scored a position to become a 5th grade reading teacher.
I really want to focus on reading area. The reading area, I feel like, is one of those areas that like our students have failed a lot. Because if you look at so many students like 2, 3, 4 levels below their reading level of their actual grade.
If you don't have a teaching license, MNPS says that's okay. They can help with that through a partnership with Austin Peay State University.
A permit means that you've got a degree, but you do not have a teaching license. So we would apply through the Tennessee Department of Education for a permit for you to have a teaching license for the school year.
If you missed out on the job recruitment fair, MNPS says there's still time to find a role that fits you. For more information, head over to our WSMV4 News app. In Nashville, I'm Danielle Jackson, WSMV4.
Danielle, thank you. And meanwhile, today we learned there will not be a school resource officer in every Metro elementary school next year. That is despite the state providing millions of dollars to local school districts to fund SROs for schools. It all comes down to staffing at the police department. Metro Police say that they want to have a full-time SRO at each elementary school. They just don't have the staffing to do so. The 60 SROs they do have will all be in the middle and high schools across Nashville. Parents are not happy about this. Some are even homeschooling their children to make sure they're safe.
It would definitely be necessary and a requirement if I sent my kids to school to make sure that the security was up to par.
Metro Police say there will be volunteer officers at elementary schools, and they will provide an extra patrol presence around the schools. Now, Governor Lee is sounding off about the decision, saying he's trying to give Metro Police millions of dollars to solve staffing shortages. In a statement, the governor says, quote, any decision by local government to not use every tool at their disposal is a disservice to parents and teachers who are counting on us. He goes on to say, I believe every public school should have access to an SRO without financial burden, unquote. As we talk weather, and this weekend, we had another hot and humid day today across the mid-state. Wow, it was so thick, the air out there. Pretty warm still out there this evening. Meteorologist Dan Thomas joining us now. So let's talk about what you're watching for the weekend, Dan.
Well, we're watching rain chances boosting for tomorrow. Tracy, right now, first alert live radar in Middle Tennessee is dry. We've got some cloud cover beginning to move on through. And also notice we have a lot more cloud cover back to the west where we're tracking some severe storms. So parts of Missouri and Arkansas, severe thunderstorm warnings right now. There's a big severe thunderstorm watch. And all of this is pushing toward Middle Tennessee slowly but surely. And so it moves in first thing tomorrow morning. And as it moves in, there could be some strong winds with a couple of cells out toward the Tennessee River towards sunrise tomorrow. First thing in the morning, temperatures in the mid-70s for most, 75 in Nashville, 74 in Gallatin, but it'll just be so humid outdoors it'll feel more like 80 degrees. There'll be some showers and thunderstorms. If you want to go for a walk or a jog, you maybe want to cut the lawn. Temperatures in the upper 70s. You'll have to dodge those showers and storms. Notice if you're running some errands during the day tomorrow, occasional showers and storms, not rain all day. Notice 83 at 2 and 87 at 3 p.m. Late tomorrow afternoon, 89 for the high at Nashville, but notice rain cooled in some communities. The futurecast that just came in for tomorrow and the rest of the weekend looks very reasonable in its timing and placement. We'll go over that when I come back in just 15 minutes. Tracy?
Dan Thomas, thank you. Tonight, we've got new information to share on those KKK flyers posted on Black-owned churches and businesses around Columbia. 2 people, a man and a teenager, have been arrested here and charged with civil rights intimidation. Columbia police, though, have not confirmed the man's identity that you see right here in this video. Murray County Jail records, though, show the suspect is this man, 38-year-old Daniel Walls, who is now free on bond. In a Facebook post, his former workplace says he's been fired and they're shocked, disappointed, and cooperating with police. People in the city say it's encouraging to see the way the city has come together to stand against hate.
I'm just glad, to have the family and support, of the community. I have no room in my heart for racism, I try to get along with everybody, and just pray.
Police are now working to find out if the two suspects acted alone or if more people were involved in spreading those flyers. Tonight, we are learning new details about Larry Pickens, the man accused of killing his surgeon in his own exam room in Collierville outside of Memphis. That was not Pickens' first run-in with police at a Campbell clinic this month. 5 days before the murder, employees at a different Campbell clinic about 15 minutes away from the Collierville location called the police on Pickens, who was lingering on their property asking unusual questions. Police say they warned him about trespassing when they arrived, but let him go. Meanwhile, in 2016, a police report shows Pickens apparently stabbed his mother's boyfriend after an argument about cleaning their house. Pickens was found near the home covered in blood and taken to jail. It's not clear what happened next, but eventually the charges were dropped and his record was expunged. Experts say that's something both sides would have to agree on.
If someone is found not guilty or a case is dismissed for lack of evidence, every citizen has the right to have that charge taken off their record so that they don't have to constantly explain on job applications or college applications or anything.
Tonight, more patients of the victim, Dr. Ben Mock, are coming forward. One woman who received 2 hand surgeries from Dr. Mock says she will never forget his kindness and compassion.
He was an amazing person, and this world will definitely be different without him. He will definitely be missed.
The Collierville Campbell Clinic has now reopened with increased security in place. Pickens is due back in court next week. Today was the first day of early voting for Nashville's municipal elections, and new at 10, the numbers are in. More than 3,300 people cast their ballot today. This is going to be a busy election cycle for voters in Nashville, headlined by the mayor's race. Mayor Cooper is not running for re-election, so there is a wide open field here with at least 7 or 8 candidates who could realistically win. A new independent poll from Music City Research shows Metro Council member Freddie O'Connell, this man right here, leading the pack right now, but only 20% of voters picked him as their favorite candidate. Now, we're also watching 2 other big races, the District 52 general election, where Nashville's Justin Jones looks to recapture the House seat he was expelled from earlier this year, and the District 51 primary to replace the late state representative, Bill Beck. One of the people who early voted today, Taylor Swift. She posted this to Instagram, encouraging everyone to get out and vote. Election Day is August 3rd. Coming up, shock in an Alabama community after a woman's chilling disappearance. Why it's being investigated as a possible abduction. Plus, in less than 24 hours, Beyonce will rock Nissan Stadium, and the Queen's impact can already be felt here in town.